after winning that 2-0? I bet it's pretty happy. Let's find out.
Congratulations, Afro Moon. So, you know what? No one really knew what to expect out of you guys. But after that win, how do you guys feel about the new roster?
We felt pretty good coming into the event, and I felt good especially since Huhi and Stixay definitely performed above our expectations in scrims, and they just have to learn how to translate it onto stage. But, you know, we had a little rough bumps throughout the game, but it was really, couldn't be more proud of my guys.
In the past, your style of play has really revolved around double lift. I have to ask you now, was that the issue maybe all along?
The issue all along, I wouldn't say so. We definitely performed well with double lift as well, but we can still do it with other people as well.
Taking the high road, I like that. The guys at the desk were very pleased with your picks and bans. How much does it have to move with Tony moving into the head coach position?
He's always done our picks and bans, but I think in the past we've kind of been prevented from picking certain things towards comps. Rather, we would pick where people would feel comfortable. So it was really hard to do both. And before we would do picks towards comps. And so some people would play stuff that they don't like, but now we're able to do both now that we have 2 young players on the roster that we're allowed to foster. So it's really good.
Well, next up for you guys is the Jin Air Green Wings. We know they're not the best team from Korea, but they are from Korea. Are you guys worried, or do you think your fans should have a little faith?
We're not really worried. Jin Air Green Wings, I don't really know anything about them. We're going to find out after this game. So we're just really confident going into the match. And really, we're just looking to focus on ourselves rather than the opponent. So just make sure that our new guys can get acclimated to the environment for the upcoming year.
It's a good way to look at it. Congratulations, Aframu.
Thank you.
Chobra, back to you.
Yep, congratulations to Aframu, and of course his team I almost said his team San Jose, but his team CLG. Aframu was actually just now representing San Jose. No, CLG, and you saw that grin on his face after the win. I mean, sure, it's not a final of a tournament. He didn't win some title, but, you know, to win with these 2 guys who were very untested, you know, it's got to feel good no matter what scenario it was.
And regardless of the faults that CLG may have had or the bones they were thrown by Unicorns of Love in the draft and in their gameplay, undoubtedly they have had the best macro game that we've seen today. Undoubtedly. That was a very smooth, crisp performance that we saw, especially in that second game.
I think what you're really going to be seeing, or what you really need to see out of CLG is, are they going to be able to lane against people that have equal level mechanics as them, or higher level mechanics? Because I think if they do end up against like TSM or even like Jin Air, I think that those players aren't just going to roll over and die, kind of like how Unicorns of Love did. So those macro play decisions that they are making, they're making great decisions, but if you can't even get to the point in the game where you get out of lane phase, it's not going to happen.
Right. And the caveat here, too, is that, yes, they did make some very good decisions. They did snowball very well in the mid-game, but this was a composition that Unicorns of Love drafted where they showed their solo lanes early. They had very low early wave clear and virtually no power in the mid-game. And so it is rather easy if you start getting ahead to just snowball and crush this particular team composition. But they executed it very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Steve, I mean, how did you see CLG? I think all of you guys do agree that, sure, their macro game was good, but what about you? Any other thoughts? Or, yeah, overall, seems pretty good so far.
I'm going to agree with what Freak said on the caster desk just a moment ago, and that Xmithie really was the MVP to look at for that team. And there were some pretty decently sized issues. Obviously, Stixay getting soloed out in the bot lane is never really what you want to see, but as a team, when they were fighting together, when they were moving together as a team, they looked very good overall. Individual players obviously need some work. There needs to be a little bit better communication, but overall, I'd say this is a very promising start for a very young lineup.
You know, it seems like everything's sunshine so far for CLG, and you know, for North America, you got to be pretty happy. Then TSM comes in, everyone's like, well, they have these superstars, can it work out? They beat LGD. CLG comes in, everyone's like, we have no idea what to expect. But hey, it looks like they've got the foundation, at least for overall game sense, it's still there. It's just a matter of now bringing up the individual talent. And you mentioned it, Crepo was mentioning it too. What happens when they get challenged in lane? What happens when their mechanics get challenged? Can they still grow out of that into a macro game? We'll have to find out. You know, maybe Jin Air. Do you think Jin Air will be the team to challenge that?
It's really hard to tell because just from watching the Kespa Cup games of Jin Air, they really, especially in their games versus CJ, they really disrespected the enemy teleport and they were overcommitting. And so if you react well against Jin Air, I think CLG can take this. I think CLG, just from what we've seen so far, does, in the limited sample size that we've had with these two new rosters, appear to have a better macro game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the big question for me is the mismatch in younger players. Obviously, you have a young AD carry on the side and Stixay on the side of CLG, and you have a young top laner on the side of Jin Air, and so on. And so the big issue is, you know, is Zion going to be able to shove that advantage of having more experience playing with his team, or is the bot lane of Pilot and Shay going to be able to take out Stixay early on and kind of find an advantage there?
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Of course, that's one of the matches coming up tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the 2 matches today. And just as a reminder, TSM and CLG moving on tomorrow. They will be playing in semifinals against Origin for TSM and against the Jin Air Green Wings for CLG. If you missed any of our games today, don't forget to check out the Score Esports. You can download the app from the App Store or Google Play to find out score, stats, and all sorts of news throughout this weekend for the Intel Extreme Masters here in San Jose. And of course, you can still go by and, you know, maybe increase the prize pool a little bit for these players at esl.gg/Amazon IEM for a lot of selected products on sale. Thanks for tuning in for day 1. We'll see you all same time, same place here from the SAP Center tomorrow for day 2.